Alright, so this is JediPsychTricks. I am finally back to streaming and therefore finally back to getting things posted on YouTube. And the first thing that I want to turn and talk about is a game that I have been waiting for so long to be able to play and show on the channel, and that is Cult of the Lamb. Originally, I could not play Cult of the Lamb on the channel because I had it on Switch and not on Steam, and that made it difficult because I don't have any sort of capture device in order to let me be able to play it on my computer and to be able to stream it because I don't have that sort of technology. And so I had to wait until I could get it on Steam and then got it, and it had this awful screen jitter. And as regular viewers of the channel know, I can't do that. It gives me vertigo. So some vestibular therapy plus some being able to really change these settings. And I love the accessibility settings that can be found from accessibility settings that might have to do with an individual's ability to engage in quick time events or hold actions, but then also being able to make changes so that things like the screen doesn't shake all the time. And so I can, and I'm actually going to turn down the vibration for while I am streaming, but changing all of the intensities of that. And so being able to reduce the camera motion and make the text not wiggle. I really love the accessibility options that we have here. Although accessibility is not what I'm going to turn my attention to and talk about in Cult of the Lamb today, because I wanted to talk about cults and how people form cults and why we end up in cults. So I do have a cult that I've been working on. This has been my test cult, trying to get it so that I could be able to see everything that I need to see and function while playing this. But that's not what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on a new cult. And so I'm going to create an all new one coming in and getting started. Praise the Lamb, conduit to great power, promised liberator of the one who waits below. Yet, sacrificial beast, take heed, for a crown cannot sit upon two brows. And I love even the way that they start this game, right? So you start off, you're looking very sad and unhappy, and you're trying to figure out what's going on in the game. And suddenly you've got these folks, right? The only thing you can do is walk around. None of the buttons work, none of the anything work. It's a very simple focus at first. And it very clearly identifies who you are, right? There's only one thing that you're controlling, but also gives you an understanding of who the enemy is, right? Because these are the folks, they're waving knives at you, and it's fairly clear that those are knives and that they're mad at you. You're trying to go a place, they're blocking you from ability to go the place. I also like that they have you walk slowly here. A lot of the time, I don't really want to be seeing the credits at the beginning of the game, but they do a really great job of integrating those. But then I might decide, no, I don't want to go this way. This way doesn't seem nice. And still, the way is blocked now. So it's very clearly showing me where I need to go. But I really don't have any choices at this point in the game. And it is quickly establishing who us is, right, me, and who them is. That is, it's establishing some in-groups and some out-groups that are going to become really important as time goes on. And so I come in here, right, and I'm, oh no, and I see, right, this isn't going to end well for me. And I can't even, there's no even interact button here. I have to, and even if I don't intentionally stumble upon it, I have to. And then you see kneel to be sacrificed. And you don't want to do that, so you try to run away. You're like, no. And you can't. Right? You come back down this way, but those same dudes are going to be down at the bottom. So you have no other choice but to die at the very beginning of this game. And so I am going to kneel to be sacrificed. Before us stands the last of its kind. All others we have hunted down and put to the blade. You killed all my family. With this, the final sacrifice, the prophecy will be impossible to fulfill. Hey, where are my settings? I told you not to do that. No animated text. Yeah, I thought I told you not to do that. No, please don't animate the text. And actually, for the sake of viewers, I am also going to ask that you not flash anyway. Actually, viewers know that there are flashing lights in this game. And to be honest, even when I turn off the flashy lights, there are still some flashy scenes. Let's turn them off anyway to try to make it a little bit better. The heretic who lies below will be condemned to eternal captivity, and the old faith shall be preserved. So I can't move, I can't do anything. Oh, poor sad little sacrificial lamb. Oh, well, I'm okay. What's going on here? So again, we find ourselves in a situation where we are tied and bound, and there is only one place to go. And that one place to go doesn't really look all of that friendly, right? There's this thing, this must be the one who is bound, it's that they just talked about. And so I come closer, fear not, for though you are already dead, I still have need of you. Those foolish bishops thought they could keep you from me in death, but instead they sent you straight to me. So we already have this affinity with this guy, right? We've been sent straight to him. Clearly, we were the ones that are trying to be kept away. I will give you life again, but at a price. And look at that smile and the tilt of the head and the laughing as they do that. I will do this thing for you, but you will owe me a thing as well. All I ask is for you to start a cult in my name. Do we have a deal? Notice, we have to have a deal. You can't play the game without a deal. So it is either yes or absolutely. Now, this is actually the first social psychological principle that we see in the game. But we're going to take a second to talk about it because otherwise we're going to be staring at the one who waits below for quite some time. Wise choice. Take the red crown which I once wore. With it you shall command the loyalty of followers and strike fear into the hearts of our enemies. Return to the land of the living, start a cult in my name, and begin recruiting followers. Once you have done so, you will see me again. Now, go. And this is one of my favorite parts about this game right here. I love this bit of animation. We go from this quiet little lamb, right? Yeah, I'm back, baby. What are you gonna do about it? Now we've got all these others, right? We've got all of these out-group members, right? People who are definitely not my friends. And so I don't feel bad at all murdering them because they all just sent me to my death. They're also doing this thing where they don't even move. I am the sort who likes to break everything, but during this first part, breaking things doesn't do me any good. And right now I'm just doing a tutorial, so I can't actually get hurt, but I know a secret. If you don't want to hear a secret, you might want to hide your ears for about 30 seconds, and the secret that I know is, if you can get through the tutorial without getting hurt, there are benefits to doing so. Fear not, I am Reptile. I was once a chosen vessel like you, but those days are lost to the winds. I was sent to guide you. We are deep in the lands of the old faith and in grave danger. My instructions are to lead you to safety. Continue through the woods. Escape lies ahead. I will be close by. Yep, you stay close by. I can't even get things from the campfire, that's done. Now, we're being introduced to most of the types of enemies here as well, at least in the first dungeon or round of fighting. For those of you who are unfamiliar, this is a roguelike game, so we are going to go in and out of dungeons. Press the button to open inventory. Look, I have a coin, a currency for all matter of things. And I like that they don't even try to say, oh, this is gold or gil or anything like that. It's just here. Have some things that are coins. The bats are my least favorite of the enemies. I didn't. I got hit. Dang it, my least favorite of enemies hit me. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I like to go to all of the places before I finish a game. Now, of course, you can't get hit. You notice I don't have a health bar in the tutorial, so I can't actually lose health. I just failed to gain something that I wanted to gain. And so for those of you who know, well, then you know. For anybody else, I'm gonna, because I didn't get it, and therefore it's not spoiled here on the screen, I am going to not tell you what it is you get, and just set you a challenge that if you intend to play this game, or you do play this game and enjoy it, and don't already know what happens if you don't get hit during the tutorial, go ahead and challenge yourself to try to do the tutorial without getting hit. I readily admit that I have done the tutorial a large number of times, but it has been a long time since I played Cult of the Lamb. Now you'll see that there's a tree here, and it doesn't really make sense why you're seeing this. It will once you're in the regular game. So yeah, I played the tutorial a lot because I was trying to cheese it and get a specific outcome after the tutorial. We have nearly reached safety, but look ahead! Another poor soul about to be sacrificed. Rescue them, and they will have no choice but to join your new cult.
Almighty bishops of the old faith, we ask you to accept the sacrifice of this wretched soul.
Hey, who trespasses on our ritual and trespasses? Oh, who interrupts our ritual and trespasses on sacred ground? Please do not expect that voices will be consistent. I am not a voice actor and will not remember who I gave what voice. I will try, but I can almost guarantee that it won't happen. Alright, so I can go ahead and rescue this person. Hello, come with me. Whoops. I may have sent you to hell. Sorry about that. Well, so now we come through and Reptile tells me another piece of exposition. You have reached safety. You have done well. The red crown will allow you to use those markings on the ground to transport yourself great distances. All right, great distances, huh? It will take you to a temple that has fallen to ruin. There you will be able to begin your new cult. I will meet you there. Excellent. Thank you for meeting me there. It's a little bit weird that I have to swipe right in order to do those things. Now I get my prizes. I get 7 gold plus 4. No damage bonus, 50% on new items. I did take damage, though. I guess I didn't take damage. Learning to dodge, used to, the moment you learn to dodge, you didn't get that. Let's check it out. No damage bonus, 50%. And now I'm going to continue. There we go. My buttons are working again. Does Reptile come and see me immediately? Ah, there we go. Please select difficulty. The developer recommended is medium. I have played on medium before and kick butt and take names, but I think it would be hilarious to watch Jedi fail a lot on this stream. If you decide that you would rather I didn't fail a lot on this stream, this can be changed at any time, so just let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to go with lots and lots of failing. And give me just one sec. My screen window got messed up just a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to double check. The other thing that I should have checked at the very beginning is the controls. Okay, good. It is set to my custom controls. There were a few things. So I originally played this on the Switch. And so there were a few issues that I had when I came over from one to the other because I had some muscle memory from the Switch that made this game significantly harder if I didn't pay attention to that muscle memory. This hallowed ground, which once was mine, is now yours. This crumbling ruin is to be the site of your new cult. We have much to do. We begin by indoctrinating this poor soul into the warm embrace of your cult. Followers can gather resources for you. Order this one to collect wood, lumber, or stone. Now, because I've played this game before, I know that I want this one to collect stone for me because I dislike collecting stone more than I disliked collecting wood. So, Indoctrination, please spare me. And now we can see some fun things about them. They like being sick. They are easier to level up, and they don't like people being sacrificed. Easier to level up is actually one of the things that I cheesed the tutorial for in order to get, and that's why I play the tutorial so often. Now, one of the things that is compelling about this game is the ability to customize your cultists, and I decided I wanted the DLC to get this cultist pack, so I am going to make you, oh, let's see, I want you to be a monkey. That's right, and you will be a teal monkey? Yes. Teal monkey seems good to me. So there is a possibility for changing names, but you can only do it upon creation. I've seen a lot of really cool names come in, but I'm going to leave this guy named uh, as he is for now. This guy kind of looks like Papa Bear in my house. So I'm gonna leave them as a monkey. Oh, and I love choosing the variants though. I like this one. I like it when they have the face paint. It's just a thing. Maybe I'll make everybody monkeys, just different combinations of monkeys. You don't have to. You can make them whatever you want. And so now you select what you want them to do. You go get the stone, and now Reptile's gonna give me more commands. By your hand, our cult will grow powerful. But your followers cannot live on prayer alone. They must eat. Gather the necessary resources and build a cooking fire. It will allow you to prepare meals for your followers. Now I can start talking. So now we get to a point where I'm just going to be doing some tasks. And first of all, I want to apologize. I noticed that my stream had been on followers only, or my chat had been on followers only. So I disabled that if there's anybody hanging out that wants to chat and isn't a follower, you are welcome to join us in the chat. I apologize for that. As if I'm a big enough streamer, right, that I can afford to not let people who are not followers chat. But I wanted to talk about a little bit of the social psychology that we saw while I'm gathering resources, of the social psychology that we saw in the very beginning of that, because that in and of itself is the first part of how cults start, are through some of those elements. And so one of the first things that cults will do in order to gain followers, in order to keep followers around, is to set up these distinctive principles of us versus them. And we're all familiar with the idea of us versus them, but in social psychology, it's referred to as an in-group and an out-group. So my in-group is anybody who I would consider us, right, who is the group to which I belong, and then an out-group is anyone who I would consider them, the group to which I do not belong. And we treat people in our in-groups and out-groups very differently from each other. And I'm going to actually have this entire first part of the video be about in-groups and out-groups, then I'll cut the video and we'll have other topics come up as well. And so when we are interacting with members of our in-groups, we will treat them more like we would treat ourselves. And we have a lot of biases that we give to ourselves in terms of giving ourselves the benefit of the doubt and treating ourselves nicely. So for example, if we're trying to figure out why somebody did something, right, it's called making an attribution, trying to figure out why did you do this thing. When we are referring to ourselves, we will assume that sort of the best possible of intentions and the best possible of experiences. Whereas if we are referring to somebody who is not ourselves, no matter if that person is an in-group or out-group, but we are more likely to think that they did it because of something inside of themselves. And that could be that we're attributing to them some really negative personality traits. All right, let's build our cooking fire. I think that's the only thing I can build so far. Actually, no, I've got decorations. Oh, right, the DLC unlocked some stuff for me. I just got the DLC right before I started the stream. So part of me that I don't know everything that's in the DLC. And I like to have my cooking fire somewhere right here. Why? I don't know. It's just where I have been placing my... I have not placed my cooking fire. What button did I press wrong? Let's try this again. I did make a custom scheme, so I have to A, places the cooking fire now instead of X. Whoopsie. Let's work together. And so now I can make y'all some food. Your followers need to eat, and it's up to you to provide meals for them. Imagine that. The hunger of your cult can be seen in the top left of the screen. When this gets too low, followers will begin to starve. Find more food while crusading. Pick routes that pass through foraging locations. Plant farms to grow your own food. Seeds can be purchased or found while crusading. And I very much prioritize, there we go, there's my hunger bar. I very much prioritize farming because the idea of having to go out and only select the food-based location annoys me. One of the things that I find most compelling and most fun about this game is actually the cult management itself. I love sort of creating cults and seeing the way that they interact and engaging with the cult itself. And I actually think one of the benefits of the Cult of the Lamb is that it's got different things for different people, and you never have to spend too much time on any one element. So if you prefer the sort of hack and slash gameplay, then you can engage with that element, versus if you're the sort of person who enjoys the cult management, you can do that. Fortunately, I have some enjoyment for the hack and slash gameplay part of it in the dungeons as well. So let's cook our cultists some food. Here we go. And that's one of those mini games that if you saw in the accessibility resources that we went under the settings, you can create an AutoCook. And you might ask yourself, well, why would you do that? It might ruin some of the fun of the game. But if you have trouble with those sorts of timed reflex-based events, then it makes sense that you might want to have that just automatically cooked. Now we must build a shrine, but first we will need more followers and more gold, both of which can be found when crusading through the lands of the old faith. Our mutual benefactor, the one who waits below, has been trapped by the 4 bishops of the old faith. Each of them guards a chain that binds him to the realm beyond. We have conjured openings to their realms. It is your task to track them down and slay them, so that he may be free. Now go. There you shall find gold and willing recruits, and for those who are not willing, convert them by force. I love that. I love that they are readily admitting that that's how cults are going to work. So now we have to go out and we have to find more people that we are going to consider us rather than them. And for those individuals who are, you may think to yourself, right, for those individuals who are not members of our cult, that they're not really them, right? But in the case of in-groups and out-groups, they are. If you are not in my in-group, if you are not one of the people that I would consider as part of my group, as likened onto me, then you are, by its very nature, in my out-group. And so all of the folks that we are going to encounter, at least at first, I hate the spiders, at least at first, are going to be out-group members. However, we can change the way that we think about our in-groups and out-groups. So if instead of our in-group simply being the people who are in my cult, there we go, single heart. Let's see how many times Jedi dies while trying to talk and play at the same time. Can I check that yet? I don't think I can. I have to resist the urge to break all the things when I can't actually benefit from breaking all the things. Oh, look, the game is merciful. I got one of those blue hearts. Merciful game, that was a gift from the one who waits below. All right. So we can choose to expand our definition of in-group as far as we want to. And some of that is just a practice in how we think about things and how we think about the world as a whole. And whether we think of all humans as members of our in-group or only those we like. But it's not as simple as just being like, well, then I'm just going to think of everybody as my in-group. Because again, there are all of these biases that are in play when we think about our in-group versus thinking about our out-group. Oh, I can collect grass. Sorry, folks. If I can collect grass, then it is very valuable for me to do so. And so I'm going to be cutting some grass because it's important. Hello, my man. Praise the Lamb, conduit to great power, promised liberator of the one who waits below. So the card showed me once, many lifetimes ago. Or has that yet to be? I have always drawn your cards, Lamb, and yet this is the first. Take these cards, and I will draw another each time we meet. When drawn by me, they will grant you power. What power? Well, that is both known and unfathomable. The cards shall decide. So now I've got this set of 2 cards. I can either get a guaranteed +1 heart, or I can get a 10% chance of a blue heart when killing an enemy. Despite the fact that I know that a guaranteed heart is probably the better choice, I also know that video games tend to fudge their numbers when it comes to statistics, and that this is actually going to be a greater than 10% chance. This is because people don't actually think rationally when they think about statistics. Just in general, we as we tend to think of, okay, if it says a 10% chance, then 1 out of every 10 times I do this should give me a heart. And that's not actually how this works. I could go hundreds of times without getting a heart. A 10% chance means over the course of an infinite number of instances of killing things in this case, then I will get blue hearts. But that feels really wrong and unrandom to us. Just like when we are doing the lottery and somebody wins with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we think, wow, that things must have been faked. Or there was this one time, and I can't remember where it was, but the same numbers came up twice in a relatively short period of time, and everybody kind of called shenanigans. But the fact of the matter is that that's much more likely than you would think. Just like winning by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is just as likely as winning with any other set of numbers. Listen by that period. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have an equal likelihood of coming up as any other single set of numbers. It's just that it doesn't feel as random to us, but randomness doesn't actually care about our emotions. Let's get some gold. Not enough gold. All right. Now we get a new card. Receive double the health when healing. Nice, nice. I like double health. Now notice again, I still only have a single branching line here. It gets more interesting, I swear. I get more lines when time goes on. So yeah, so let's get back to in-groups and out-groups. So one of the things that we do as sort of by nature of somebody being in our in-group is we make kinder attributions. We also tend to think better of them in general. We think members of our in-group are more moral. We think members of our in-group are better looking. We think members of our in-group are more trustworthy, will do better on exams, are more intelligent. We just have all sorts of bias for members of our in-group. And because of that, we don't even think about what these cultists what their choices may be, right? And it doesn't matter. In a game like this, it doesn't actually matter at all. But even when we are becoming a part of an actual cult, the moment that you can get a person to think of the cult as in-group and everyone else as out-group, they're going to start to make some bias attributions towards the everyone else, that everyone else is ignorant, that they don't understand because they are not one of us, they can't understand. And you can actually see this forming in day-to-day life, this idea that other people can't possibly understand or don't have access to the knowledge that we have access to. Oh. How can this be? You were put to the blade, lamb, as all your kind were, and yet here you stand before me, unrepentant. The crown? His power? Could it be? But I am stronger still. Turn tail and run, little lamb. No. I don't think I will, because you tried to murder me. Right, and that's a really good way to make you as part of my outgroup, is trying to murder me. So I can get a shield, 10% chance of negating health. But I'm a vengeful Dirk who was just talking about how they just tried to murder me. So I'm going to do them some damage with my diseased heart. Because they made my heart diseased. So this is their fault. Now I happen to know, and even if I didn't, this looks all sorts of official, right? So I'm not going to go that way just yet. Again, I'm the type of person who wants to take every last bit of area out, get all of the last bit of benefit. I don't like to go the right way until I've gone all of the wrong ways. Unfortunately, this room has nothing interesting going on in terms of, it didn't even have a chest in the middle or anything. It didn't have anything interesting in terms of going the wrong way. But whatever. Okay, so now I have to go and fight a big fight. Hey, little guy. How you doing? No? Not so good? You look sick. You have come far enough, little lamb. My followers are willing to do anything for me. Can you say the same of yours? I don't know why I got an accent just there.
I give myself to the cause, almighty leader.
By the blood of the great ones, destroy the Red Crown. I need to stop that voice. Excuse me. I hate coughing on screen. Sorry, I went silent for just a second to try to save myself from the voices that I chose to do. That was a poor choice there, Jedi. So I'm not going to do that again. If you saw the screen jump, it's because I decided to go in and do a few jump cuts to get rid of cough. Actually, more likely, it'll go silent. But one of those, if you see an error in the video, it's because I realized that doing bad things to my voice like that was not the smart thing to do in the long run. I'm very excited that I just killed him on hardest difficulty in my first try while chatting with y'all. I'm very proud of myself. Good job, Jedi. And I am going to stop this video here as we spoke a little bit about in-groups and out-groups. For those of you who might be watching on Twitch but not chatting, just so that you know, what I do is I have stolen an idea from the great streamer Durangatang, who I will try to remember to put a link to here. And I've stolen an idea from him where I stream, but I also then use those to cut into YouTube videos. And so this is where I'm going to cut between one YouTube video and another. So for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, you can check out and wait for another video where we're going to turn our attention and talk about the sorts of norms that this game, but also cults in general, have taken advantage of. So I will see y'all in just a second. Well, for those of you on YouTube, I'll see you in a bit. For those of you here, catch you in just a second.